Hello everyone, in this video I'll show you how you can easily simplify fractions. Now there is a three-step process that I use in order to simplify fractions. Number one is to find the highest common factor for both the numerator and the denominator. Number two, divide the numerator by this factor, and number three, divide the denominator by the factor, right? In order to simplify a fraction. Now if you're new to fractions, just to let you know that the number on top in a fraction, right, is called a numerator, whereas the number at the bottom, in this example number 10, is called the denominator. Say for example, if you wanted to simplify 2/10, right? Now as per my steps, first we try to find the highest common factor, right? Now when we're trying to find the highest common factor, all I mean to say is you need to find numbers that multiplied together give you 2, and numbers that are multiplied together give you 10, right? And you choose the highest number that you can for both the 2 and the 10, right? And you use that number to divide the 2, the numerator, and then the 10, which is the denominator, right? So let's see. For number 2, the factors are 1 and 2. This is because 1 times 2 is equal to 2, right? So the factors for 2 are 1 and 2, right? Those are the only two factors number 2 has in this case. So the highest factor is 2, right, which I've marked there. That's the highest factor. Now let's check for number 10. Number 10, obviously 1 times 10 will give you 10, so you have 1 and 10. Now what other numbers can be multiplied to give you 10? We have 2 times 5, which is equal to 10. So factors are 2 and 5, right? So the highest factor for both number 2 and number 10 is 2, right? That's the highest factor for both number 2 and number 10. So that's the highest common factor that we'll use to divide this fraction here, the numerator first, that's the numerator, and that's the denominator, in order to simplify. So if we divided 2 by 2, that will give you 1, and if we divided 10 by 2, so 10 divided by 2 will give us 5. And that's how we have now simplified 2 out of 10 to 1 out of 5, right? And that's the simplified form. So in this example, we'll try and simplify 5 over 15, right? So first step is to find the highest common factor for 5 and also for 15, right? So for 5, I know it is 1 and 5, because 1 times 5 is equal to 5, and there's no other whole numbers, right, that can be multiplied to give you 5. Remember, we're not dealing with decimals, this is whole numbers, right? For 15, I know it's obviously 1 and 15, because 1 times 15 is equal to 15, right? Now what other numbers multiply, what other two numbers multiply to give you 15? You have 3 times 5, which is 15. Are there any other numbers? So you have 3 here, and you have 5 as a factor as well. Now as you can see, the highest common factor for the numerator, or for 5, is 5, and the highest common factor for 15 again is 5 as well, right? So that's the highest we can go, because for 5 it's already 5, right? So for 15 we'll use 5. Now we'll divide the numerator, which is 5, by 5, which is the highest common factor, and we'll also divide the denominator, which is 15, by 5 because that's the common factor, or the highest common factor for both 5 and 15. So I'll just mark it, that's the numerator and that's the denominator. So let's divide it. If we divide 5 by 5, we get 1. And if we divide 15 over 5, so 15 over 5, or 15 divided by 5, is 3. So that's the simplified form, 1/3 of 5 over 15. Now can we further simplify 1 over 3 or 1/3? No, we can't, right? Using whole numbers we can't. So that's the answer, that's the simplified form, 1 over 3 or 1/3. In this example, we'll try and simplify, say for example 6 over say 17, right? So we'll follow the same procedure. So the highest common factor, or the factors for 6, is first of all 1 and 6, because 1 times 6 is 6. We also have 3 times 2 or 2 times 3, which is equal to 6, right? So we have 2 and 3. Now are there any other factors? For 17, we obviously have 1 and 17, right? So you've got, for 6 we have 1, 2, 3 and 6. Those are the factors for 6. For 17 we really only have 1 and 17. Now the factors are not common in this case, right? Because 6 has only 1, 2, 3, 6, and 17 has 1 and 17. Well, the only common factor we have is 1 really, but as you know, multiplying or dividing by 1 doesn't change the answer. So because we have, or we are in this situation where there's no common factors besides 1, we cannot really simplify this fraction of 6 over 17, right? So it remains as 6 over 17. We cannot simplify it just because there's no common factors besides just the 1, right? And 1 doesn't really change the numbers, the 6 and 17. If you divide it by 1, it's the same, right? You still get 6 and you get 17. So in these situations where you are not able to find the highest common factor or common factors, you can't simplify that fraction. So just to recap, you can easily simplify fractions by using this 3-step process. Number 1, find the highest common factor that belongs to both the numerator and the denominator. Then divide the numerator by this factor, and lastly divide the denominator by the factor, right, in order to simplify a fraction. Thank you very much for watching. Please share and subscribe for more.